How's it going, everyone? Shiny Plume here with another episode of What We Duel in the Shadow Room. Today, I got a deck that I've been actually playing a lot of lately, online and also in person. Introducing Psychic Punk. Now, this deck came about after the release of Duelist Advance, which has had some undesirable results, but in it, we got a lot of interesting psychic support that has gone mostly overlooked. And I think this stuff is really, really fun, especially with the new Punk stuff that came out in the set prior, which has been way better than expected. But in either case, I think that this deck has some potential going forward, especially with new psychic support actually being announced in future sets. But also, as it stands right now, it's a really fun rogue deck that aims to synchro summon a lot of psychic monsters that actually have some pretty decent effects. In this video, I have actually two versions of this deck. One that focuses a little bit more on the punks, and another one that focuses a little more on the psychic monsters. In the replays, you'll see a lot more usage of the punk version, but just know that there are multiple ways to build this deck. And honestly, part of me kind of prefers the one with more psychic stuff than the one with more punk stuff. But let's get into the replays. So the main bridge, obviously with this deck, between the psychics and the punks is the card Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport just lets you special summon any level 3 or lower psychic monster from your deck, but banish it during the end phase. That part doesn't really matter a whole lot because, let's be real, you're probably going to use it as material for something. Since this card's inception, it's been absolutely busted. In fact, for a long time, it was even limited or semi-limited, and even is still on the permitted limit list in some capacity in other formats. But in the TCG, it's at 3. So with the new psychic support, we actually have ways to search Emergency Teleport now, mainly with the Mind Procedure, which on normal summon, or if it's special summoned by the effect of a monster, it adds 1 teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand by paying 2,000 life points. So if you emergency teleport, if you have an emergency teleport in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand, actually, or you can get it from your deck. And this is not the best card in the deck, but it's still one of the really good ones. The one that I really like a lot is Serene Psychic Girl. When it's normal special summon, you can banish 1 card from your hand, and if you do special summon a level 4 or lower psychic monster from your deck, except for Serene Psychic Girl, but you are locked into psychics from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So basically meaning that it's a little bit harder to go into things like the Punk Amazing Dragon or Rising Carp if you have Serene Psychic Girl as your starter. Which is one of the reasons why I actually prefer the heavier psychic version than the heavier punk version. However, this is a 1-card combo because this gets you to your Mind Procedure, which searches Emergency Teleport, and then you have some new synchros that you can go into, such as Psychic Magician, which is a level 5, and Serene Psychic Girl is a 2, and Mind Procedure is a 3, but it also can still be used as a non-tuner even though it is a tuner. Psychic Magician, on special summon, you can target level 4 or lower psychic monster in your graveyard or banishment, and special summon, then you can increase its level by 1, and it has the same extra deck restriction as Serene Psychic Girl. So the reason this is good is because this lets you get to any Synchro 8 or Synchro 9 very easily. You can even go into Synchro 7s, but there isn't one that is really that great right now. So this could get you to your Punk Jam Dragon Drive, but it also can get you to Psy Frame Lore Omega, QB Shen Shen, and by the way, I really like Virtual World Shen Shen, it's one of my favorite monsters, and Psychic Blaster Mark II, which is one of the new cards. Requires a Psychic Tuner and 1 non-tuner Psychic monster, though honestly, you can cheat that a little bit because you can treat Mind Procedure or Silent Psychic Magician as non-tuners. And this card is actually a pretty decent endboard piece. It has 2 effects. You can either target any banished monster in either banishment and special summon it to your field. And that's not a quick effect, but the other effect is a quick effect. During the main phase quick effect, you can banish 1 monster from your graveyard, then target 1 other face-up monster on the field, banish it, and then gain life points equal to the banished monster's original attack. you can only use one of the effects per turn and only once that turn, so you have to be really smart about which one you choose. But either way, this card is really fantastic as an endboard piece because it just banishes a monster or can keep you extending. Then we get to the punk stuff. So obviously with the punk stuff, you got things like the Ogre Dance, the Foxy Tune, and the new card Rising Scale, and of course things like Zeoman and Deer Note and the Field Spell. So you still play a decent amount of punks in either version. It's just like which one do you prioritize more in depending on the version. For example, obviously in both you want to prioritize Zeoman, but if you haven't gotten to any of the psychic stuff yet, you can also go to Shirakusai to do the standard punk stuff. And then you also have obviously Foxy Tune, Deer Note, and Rising Scale that are just really great extenders for this deck. And of course you have the new Punk Jam Fever, which is a psychic monster, thankfully, so even if you start with the Serene Psychic Girl, you can still go into Jam Fever. It requires 2 level 8 monsters, or you can also XE summon it by using 1 Punk Fusion or Secret monster you control as material, so it's kind of like a Dingirsu in that way. And it has a monster negate tied to it, so when another monster's effect is activated and you have a level 3 psychic monster in your graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and destroy it. You're almost always going to have a level 3 psychic monster in your graveyard. So this card is almost always going to be live. Then, other cards that are really good in this deck, a recent addition was the Jiraishin the Cursed Thunder God. This is a level 11 synchro. This card is so good that I've even been playing it in other decks like White Forest. Each time your opponent activates a card effect, you gain 300 life points when it resolves. And during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect tribute it and pay 1500 life points to either destroy all your opponent's face-up monsters or destroy all your opponent's face-up spells and traps. Both effects are really good. Obviously, the monster one's a little bit better. And then, of course, you have the big finisher in this deck, and you've probably seen a lot of replays that this card finishes a lot of games. Psychic and Punisher. This is one of the reasons I love Psychic so much. This is a payoff for all that life point loss you've been doing to yourself, because Psychics like to synchro summon, but they also like to lose life points. But Psychic and Punisher makes it all worth it, because if you're at less life points, then it's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. And you can pay 1,000 life points to target one of your monsters you control and 1 card your opponent controls, banish them, and at the start of the battle phase, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference between your life points and your opponent's life points. And it's already at 3,500 attack. So this card can get upwards of so much attack just because of its effects. This card is a fantastic finisher. So this new version of Psychic Punk has a lot more interaction, a lot more starters, and is a little bit more consistent while also maintaining like some of that same old feel that it still has. So it's still a really solid rogue option here. So yeah, here we are back with the deck, and you can clearly see that both versions are ones that I actually thoroughly enjoy using. Like I said, I think I like the one with more psychics more, but obviously I did more replays with the one with more punks because I've been experimenting a lot with this deck, and it has gone through many iterations and still will go through many iterations. That's why I haven't made a full-on deck profile about this one yet, because I want to get a build that not only do I have built in real life, but I'm actually very satisfied with. But what did you guys think of this Psychic deck? And what are some other decks that are a little bit more rogue or below that you guys really enjoy? Let me know in the comments. During the end phase, Battle goes back. Thank you all for watching. Peace.